Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network. Sorry. I hate when that happens. Presented by Patriot Badge Company in Camarado. That's right, we're finally live. Pardon my lab, he's still calming down from playing with his friend an hour ago. So you'll hear him going in the background. And maybe my kid too, because his door was open. So be forewarned. He forgets it's Tuesday night. Dang people, I tell you. Anyway, 'tis Tuesday. And we're continuing to our series, which is talking about things that people really don't think are about reloading, but yet they are about reloading. So, but first, let's see what everybody up to.
Not much. Just waiting to move.
Yep.
Most of my work's been online, helping people out, working as an admin for both Reloading Podcast Group and the Reloading Room. Nick, how about you, bud?
Picked up another new rifle over the weekend. Didn't plan on it. But it's a possibility of it being a vet bring back from Vietnam. There's no way to know, being it's a Norenko SKS. It's got some pitting above stock line. Not terrible, but being a non-import marked Norenko, the possibility of it being a vet bring back from Vietnam is pretty high. But other than that, Dad was out here last weekend. We went shooting, shot this new rifle real quick, and set a good week. And sorry I wasn't on last week. I worked a ton of OT last week at work. So, but other than that, been staying pretty busy. Vault's coming
Likely
along pretty
story,
good.
you know, you were hanging out with Babs.
No, I was. You can ask my dad. I was swamped last week.
He did work a lot of overtime.
So, but yeah, no, just getting things ready. Vault's hopefully can be finished within the next month or so. So, floors ordered, rubber flooring is ordered. It'll be here probably later this week, early next week. After the show, I got to go grind a little bit of concrete that's a little thick in patches to kind of smoothen it out. But yeah, she's coming along pretty well. Room's painted. So,
getting there.
Nick, may I offer you a suggestion for your floor?
Yeah.
You're gonna put a rubber floor down. Why don't you put some rubber standing mats around too? You know, it'll just increase how comfortable the floor is.
well, I went with a good 3/8 inch thick rubber, like the flooring you would see in the gyms. So
Yes.
it's thick rubber. It was not cheap to get shipped here, but it's good quality stuff. So I having high end collection stuff, not high end, but the value of a lot of my stuff being up there, I don't want to put the cheap thin like car mats or door mats down there and something go falling off a rifle rack and it hitting those super thin mats, cracking a stock. The rubber matting I'm going to put down is a little bit thicker, so it'll give it a little bit of bounce back for those
You got
stocks
it.
if something does fall on it.
No, I've been
How about
doing.
you? Go ahead, Ray.
All I've been doing is we got a garage sale this weekend, so we've been moving furniture out and stuff. We're not wanting to take on the move, so just getting ready for moving here in the fall. So
Yeah, Nick was saying you got a Chevy for sale in the garage sale.
nah, that's one thing that I've had that since 1983. I don't think I'm going to get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
I sold one Chevy last fall. Yeah, last fall.
I thought you were making room, you see, so, and he said you were interested in
I did
having
not
a
say
garage sale.
no
You
such
said
thing.
you had a garage sale.
So
So
they're
I
having it.
figured
I didn't know.
what's in the garage is going to get sold.
No, not that'd be what. That's one thing that won't be for sale. I've had that longer than I've had Nick.
Wow.
10+ years longer. Yeah.
What color is it?
It's called Glacier Blue. It's a real light silver metallic blue.
Yep. I always call it a powder blue.
Yeah.
How about you, Chris? You haven't been on for a while.
I got a new optic in that I'm so far pretty happy with. I thought I was going to have the cast bullets I ordered from a guy down in Arizona in, but the illustrious post office, like with all shipping companies, sent my bullets from Arizona. I think they ended up in Georgia, and now they're on the way back to Wyoming.
God.
Yeah,
Sounds about right.
yeah.
Sounds
I've
about
got
right.
my dies ordered for that Smith & Wesson 500 rifle. So as soon as they get here, I'll start doing up some loads. And I took that, sold a 4570 to a guy, and when he came out, he wanted to shoot it out on the property. Like, sure. And then he's like, "Well, bring your big one out there." And I took that out, fired a few rounds. He's like, so I think I might have him sold on one of those Bighorn Armory ones now. So I might be having to order him one of those.
Hey, we still have the used one in the library for like 3,500.
And you don't have a year wait. That's actually not a bad price. But what else did I do? I think that's. Oh, and I sold a suppressor to a guy. So we'll see. We just certified last night. We'll see if it takes 2 days like his last one.
Congratulations to the customer and congratulations to you on the sale of the suppressor.
Yeah, you were talking about that Gideon optic.
Yeah.
How do you
The
like
Judge
that
XL?
so far? Yeah.
Yeah. So when we had Mike on the podcast, I can't remember when.
Mhm.
Been a few months, but he had mentioned that, and I wrote it down because it's the RMSC footprint.
Right.
And a lot of the pistols I have that are optic cut have that RMSC. And basically you were limited to stuff like the Holosun 507K and a few other ones.
Small ones, yeah.
But
The small ones.
if you wanted to go shoot competition, that's an awful small window. And so when he mentioned that, I made note, and they released it on a Friday night. And I was telling Mike, I was like, "Yep, I hate him. I'm gonna spend money I don't really need to spend." But shipped to the door with this deal they had going on was 197, and I had it that following Monday.
You can't be.
Yeah, and so far playing around with it, the quality is. I'm impressed.
What do you got it mounted on? A 9?
Well, this is empty, so it's not showing anything. So hopefully, let's see. That's the Gerson Match X.
Okay.
Take that stupid freaking blurring off. There we go. Here, this should be able to see it now.
Yep.
So the window is actually a pretty good size. To kind of give you an idea, here's the 507.
Yeah.
So huge difference. But when you look at the panic, pretty close.
Okay. But it's on the K mount, which is nice because I can get a 1911 in an RMR, but it's a special cut, and the K mount is I can get. Everybody will do a K mount for it.
Wrong one. Well, that's what I like about that Gideon is what he was saying is you look at the base, it's that small and then widens out.
Yep.
So that I was like, that is super sweet because I know I got a lot of guys that own Canics, and a lot of their Canics are that smaller footprint on that slide. So that's going to be a good option for them.
That's that K footprint, which in a hollow sun is just too small.
Yeah, it's good for conceal.
Yeah.
But if you want to go shoot any competition, you're gonna be struggling compared to the other people that are out there.
Or you got old eyes like me, you know, trying to find the dot, you know.
1 second, somebody just pulled in the driveway.
Okay. So
Unrelated to the podcast. Mike, sorry about that. I didn't mean to hit that. I'm trying to make that bubble go away, and I posted all that crap.
Okay.
sir,
Yeah.
your
That won't go
birthday?
away. So you just got to leave it there.
Your birthday? Jim?
What?
It's your birthday?
No, it's not. Today's not my birthday.
Not your birthday today. Okay. I thought it's coming soon, right?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know somebody's been paying too much attention to Facebook, Mike.
No, I have it saved in my calendar.
God, must have made a hell of an impression on you. Shows what a bad influence I am.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to be another year younger?
You bet.
Good.
I wish I could turn those numbers around.
Need to keep you around a while longer.
I wish I could turn those numbers around to 27 because and keep my experience.
Yeah.
Now, what the hell are you saying, Mike? Oh, okay. Happy birthday to Jim. Shh. It's actually tomorrow, but we can't pick on him as easily tomorrow. No, because I'll freaking hide.
I know how to get you out of hiding. I just get a hold of Marissa.
We're going to put this on silent, miss all
You
calls.
can do whatever you want with that. It ain't gonna stop me.
I know that. You're a bitch, Mike, and I love you anyway.
That's right. Don't you forget it.
Anyway, I want to throw Hadi to shout out to Russ, Alaska Russ. Dedicated guest, dedicated follower, listener.
Yep.
He's always there for us.
One of the regulars.
You bet.
So all right. So it's only 66 days, 14 hours, 35 minutes, and 50 seconds until GunCon. Who's going to GunCon? I know none of you guys are for various reasons. I'm going by hook or by crook. And I'm going to figure out a way to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at the same time. So, because it's definitely not something my wife would ever want to do is go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And frankly, there's no other reason to go to Cleveland. So,
Well, you can get their chili 3 ways there.
You can get that at Steak and Shake.
Not like Philly, you know, not like Cincinnati. No.
I'm not going to
Scotty.
Cincy. I'm going to Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I don't
Cincinnati,
want
Cleveland.
I don't want Skyline's
Yes.
chili flavored spaghetti sauce.
Yeah, no.
I can actually buy that here at Kroger.
Steak and Shake's not that good anymore.
No,
Sure,
I
you're
agree.
not talking about the mistake by the lake, are you?
Mistake by the lake.
Yes, it is.
You never heard that one, Nick?
No, it's Cleveland. Nobody really talks about Cleveland anyway.
It's the butthole of Lake Erie.
Yep.
If you think
Yep.
about it, Erie's actually got like two buttholes because you've got Toledo on one end and Cleveland on the other. And you know what the stupid thing is? Michigan and Ohio actually fought a war over Toledo.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Toledo's on Lake Michigan.
No, it's on Lake Erie.
Lake Erie.
It's on Erie. Yeah, it's on Erie.
The only thing that Erie is good for is their walleye fishing. Okay.
Walleye and their perch.
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
Yep.
Yeah, walleye and perch, baby.
Yep.
Gosh dang it. Now you make me hungry for the Jolly Roger in Port Clinton, Ohio. Gosh dang it.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Wait,
The
what?
best
It's
yellow
a
perch.
restaurant?
There's a restaurant in Port Clinton, Ohio, which is where the CMP at Camp Perry is. When we used to go out there,
I will
Restaurant right on
stop
there.
and eat.
yes,
What-
you got to
what-
get the
Because
yellow perch.
I am planning on stopping at Camp Perry.
Yeah.
What day you driving, Mike?
So there is stuff for me going on. I think I don't remember. I gotta look. I think it's 25th and 26th.
Yeah, because the North Store's only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I mean, you're probably going to pass it within 20, 30 miles.
Well, if he stays on the turnpike, he's going to be like 10 miles,
Yeah.
not even.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
far from at all.
Yeah, because it's
So what
10
is it?
minutes
It's
off
the
the
Jolly
turnpike.
Roger.
I think it's Jolly Rogers.
It's called the Jolly Roger in Port Clinton.
Yeah. Best yellow perch, fried yellow perch you'll ever have. Oh,
You're making me hungry, Nick.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm hungry as well now.
What else did we have there? Yellow perch. Did we have hush puppies?
Yeah, their hush puppies are good. We've had their mushrooms before. Those
Mushrooms
are
are
good.
Did you have their frog legs?
We did
No.
not have their frog legs.
Okay.
Frog legs are good. They're not my
Well,
favorite.
that's a little bit of a out of the way. Yeah, Fremont, Tiffin. So I've got family in Toledo, Mommy, actually. Well, see, if I had more time, that would be a great stop because then I could just bebop over to that little amusement park that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a super good air museum there in Port Clinton.
Yeah.
We went to when we were out there one year.
Yeah, because there's that little amusement park there that has the world's best roller coasters.
Oh, Sandusky. That's
Mhm.
Sandusky.
Cedar Point, baby.
Cedar Point. Yeah. See, are you taking the wife or are you going by yourself?
I'm going by myself. If we go to Goals, I'm taking her with because then we're going to meet up with some of her friends from Carolinas.
There you go.
Hey, did you see what the Supremes did?
No.
They officially denied the Minnesota's appeal on their 18 to 20-year-old carry ban.
Oh.
So it's now legal for 18 to 20-year-olds in Minnesota to take the training classes and conceal carry. Chris, sorry, they sold it.
It's okay. I got signed up as a dealer, so I can get it cheaper now.
Nice.
Because they actually, Bighorn Armory has a range day coming up at one of our local indoor, or the only indoor gun company range, Wyoming Gun Company, and they're bringing their new tactical versions of the 500 Smith & Wesson, and WTF suppressors out of Cody is coming up, and they made a 50 cal non-BMG suppressor for it, and they're coming up to demonstrate that. So that's not this weekend, following weekend. So I'm gonna go hang out over there, check it out. Feel free to take a road trip, Mike.
Road trip. Wow. That sucks. That sucks, Russ.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Russ just had a 4.7 magnitude up in Alaska. He said the podcast is earth shattering. Yeah. Anyway, so back to the gun con thing. It's now 66 days. Oop, better refresh just to make sure. Boom, 66 days, 14 hours, 28 minutes, and the seconds are merely ticking away till GunCon. And that's the official countdown to the public version or portion on Saturday the 28th. Tickets are $50. It's at the Twist Drill Building, which is where they used to manufacture drill bits. So this is guncon.net is the website. They've got a hotel information right here. Gun Collective. Here's where you can buy your tickets. No tickets at the event, so tickets are $50, but you get a shirt and a meal. Here's some of the panelists that will be there. That guy's kind of sketchy right there. Watch out for him. So, but yeah, they're going to be a lot of. And the nice thing is about and then here's some of the people that are making this all possible, because I guarantee you the $50 per ticket is not covering the cost of this event. So, so there's all sorts of awesome stuff going on, and there's giveaways. That's right, you could win something. Last couple of years, the last 3 years, there's been at least 3 suppressors given away. A couple of firearms and a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely worth the travel. The food's always fantastic. Anybody who knows Patton, he's not a toothpick like myself. He enjoys food. He enjoys good food. So he doesn't have crappy food vendors. So. But I mean, one of the best things is you're live right there. You can actually ask all of these personalities questions. You can get up in line and you can ask them questions, and usually the lines aren't that long. I think usually the only one that kind of has a long line is the one where they've got like Adam Kraut and the guys from GOA and stuff. Well, the legal end of it. But otherwise, a lot of opportunities to ask questions of things. So.
Yeah, I like those open format Q&A sessions they have on certain topics. Really neat. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's just awesome. So, and then usually they're all wandering around the vendor space. So you can actually, meet these people and have a personal conversation with a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, a chance you're not going to get, otherwise. So. It's just a blast. So, but yeah, so that's June 28th. That's at the Twist Drill Building, which is 1242 East 49th Street in Cleveland, Ohio. Or if you are from there, Ohio. So you got to take your wash out and do your wash. Anyway, I got to stop that or I will start talking like my grandma. And it usually doesn't stop for a couple days. Drives everybody nuts. So, but yeah, that's about that's the exciting bit for that. And then Goals is coming up in August. Goals is GOA, Gun Owners of America's version of the NRA annual meetings. So that's 8th, 9th, and 10th of August in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we're hoping at being there. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But the nice thing about Goals also is there's seminars that you can go to and stuff. A lot of good information there, a lot of vendors there too. So awesome stuff. If you want to, if especially with GunCon, usually there's some leading edge stuff coming out, stuff that is just going to be released or just has been released that you actually get to get your grubby paws on and touch and feel. You can't lick it. They won't let you lick it. Okay. You will get a beating for licking things. I'm not going to tell you how I know that, but you will.
So if you drool real heavy on it, you can take it home?
Nope, that's considered licking, and they will beat you for
okay.
it. So, but yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. Good companies there. So, but yeah. So yeah, make sure you swing over to guncon.net, get them tickets, and look forward to seeing you there. That's pretty much
nice.
Yeah, that's all that's new and exciting from here. We got to discuss about shirts because I actually want to get mine done for GunCon. So we'll talk about that later. The shirts we were planning for SHOT. So anyway. Not sharing. So everybody talk about what they've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Click, 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 click. What you looking for, Nick?
Doing some research on something for a buddy.
Sure. What are you looking for?
He has a Arasaka that needs a few parts, so I'm looking for that for him.
So here's something for you, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna send you pictures, but I didn't want to make you cry.
I'm used
we have
to
a
it.
long we have a long branch.
What did they do to it? It's usually either a long branch,
They tried to
one.
make it look like a jungle carbine.
I've seen that. That's common.
So they shortened up both the top and bottom pieces of the stock.
God.
And then they put the muzzle device on.
Oh,
but the funny thing is, so this came from another Cabela's or Bass Pro. The guy bought it from there online, and it was like $1,100.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I could sell mine for almost double. Mine's legit and early. Damn.
And I immediately looking at it, I looked at it because you see idiots putting that freaking muzzle device on all sorts of Enfields. For those of you who don't know, the jungle carbines are famous or infamous rather for basically it looks like an ice cream cone that's stuffed on the end of the muzzle, or like one of those college cheerleader megaphones. They stuff them on the end of the muzzle. I don't know what the purpose of it's supposed to be, but that's kind of the signature thing of the jungle carbine. And then there's some other things from there. But I mean, I just looked at it and I'm like, oh my God.
If you get pictures of it, send them to me just so I can get a laugh out of it.
Okay, I will. I work Saturday again, so if it's still there.
Sounds good.
I think we're gonna wind up eating it because I think the guy decided once he saw it and realized it wasn't what it was. I think he wanted his money back.
I could have told you it's a long branch. Long branch never made jungle carbines. I could have told you from halfway drunk.
And the thing is, it's been reparkerized
Oh, jeez.
poorly.
This has to be a new collector.
So I don't know. Well, I don't know who bought it. Whoever bought it at the store needs to be slapped.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
And for that price, especially, because I know what is it? You got, what do you guys, 70, 75%?
we pay
Sure.
65% of whatever we're selling it for. But it was
Jeez.
already marked down. This guy bought it for a marked down price, so I don't even know what the original price was.
Oh my gosh. I tried to look on, it's not on the website. Darn. Oh my gosh. It makes my, oh.
Yep.
I've seen some stupid price stuff in the last couple months, but that's insane.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, for the most part, milsurps have kind of plateaued and they're starting to come back down. The bottom
Mhm.
needs to fall out because they're all way too effing much money.
It's like this SKS. I got it for under 400, which for a non-import mark Narenko, you can't beat.
No.
Even with a little bit of service pitting. I'm not complaining. It looks like it's been there, done that. That's why I bought it.
But I mean, that's what a top, a numbers matching, good looking Narenko should go for, and they're
Yeah.
going for twice that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, COVID just spiked the milsurp market, and it's just stupid. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could sell my, even with the barrel shortened and the stock shortened, I could sell my Peterson for probably 1,500 right now.
It's insane what those were before. It's insane. And I don't know why. Dad and I've talked about this before.
Well, there was only 100,000 made. You have to remember that.
Yeah, no, but it's not really a special rifle per se. All they did was they took a regular 03, redid the receiver stamping, and milled a little hole in the side of the receiver
Exactly.
for a little project they were hush project that they were developing.
Right.
It doesn't
it's-
make them double, triple the price, personally.
But it's the fact that there was only 100,000 out of, how many million 1903s were made.
Yeah, true.
So,
But 99.99999% of people will never own a Pedersen device.
no. Unless we
So
can
think
find
about
somebody to 3D print them.
That's the thing. I want this I want a 3D printed model, just the model.
I
3D
just want a
printed.
model too. I mean, the fact
for
of finding
display.
a functioning one, no.
There's a guy on YouTube that made one, and I've thought about emailing the guy. I'm like, hey, how did you do this? Did you make a 3D model of parts first and then machine it yourself? Because he's actually made it live firing, and it's incredible. He's taking it apart.
What ammo is he shooting out of it?
30 Pedersen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
because you can still get 30 Pedersen.
You can go to if you have a 3D model that's right. I mean, you tested it in plastic. You can go to people and they will 3D print metal for you.
See, Ian's gotta, or somebody's gotta. I'd like to see Ian do it, but somebody's got to get a hold of a 3D scanner and start scanning one of those things.
Well, Othias is up close with the guys up there at Springfield Armory Museum, because that's who they got theirs from to do for the Pedersen device video.
All right,
and they got a lot of
Othias.
stuff. So,
Othias, we're calling you out. Get on that.
Okay, I got one for the milsurp duo here. On the reloading room that Jim had started, there's a question about a 308 blank for an M1 Grand to launch a dummy grenade.
Oh, I hate those questions.
So I can kind of help with that while Nick's struggling. First off, are we sure it's a 308?
That's the question. Yeah. No, I'm thinking the exact same thing. Unless you know it's a defined 308 for a grand.
He needs to cast the chamber first, because the problem is most of those that people think are 308 launchers are actually odd 6.
Mm-hmm. If it is a 308, it's more than likely a naval rifle Yeah, I saw that today. I didn't respond to it because I'm like, I'm not getting myself in trouble, and I don't want to take a chance of him blowing his gun up.
Okay.
Well, the launcher would be the same whether it's a
Yeah, no,
odd 6 or 308. It's just the charge that's going
Right.
to take the.
I'm not as sure if it was a blank that they used, because
Yes.
blanks are different than grenade charges. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's why I never said it. I haven't said anything on it, but
Yeah,
it's
a blank cartridge.
It's
it
a
is
blank.
a blank. Okay.
It's a lot hotter of a blank.
Yeah.
A lot hotter. Okay.
It's about almost the whole case filled with powder.
On the
Okay.
Grands, and I think on the M16s, they used actual blanks.
It was
On
not
the-
well. They were blanks, but at the time, the charge was astronomically higher
Right.
of a charge than
Basically,
what we
they
would
packed the
consider
case.
blank. Oh, absolutely. It's basically.
But
a
on the
packed case.
14s, I think they actually had a different.
Yes.
Yeah.
14s
The-
had a different.
14s actually had kind of like a mini projectile in there or something.
Um,
But I don't
no,
remember.
It wasn't a. It was
Or not
a
not
different
necessarily a projectile, but it was a different
the-
setup.
It was called a grenade charge.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Because on the Grand, when you put on that grenade launcher, before you can put the grenade on there, there's a pin that pushes in on the gas plug, which deactivates your gas system in the Grand.
Hmm.
right.
So it's a single shot at that point.
And
But there again,
the M14 does not have that. You
No.
have to
Mm-mm.
flip the switch with
the switch.
a shell case
Yep.
or a screwdriver and go from there.
And we
So-
know, my dad and I know a guy that he was working on for a while some hand loads for firing rifle grenades out of a Garand. I don't know if did he ever get that set up, Dad? Do you know, Kerwin?
Yeah, I've seen him shoot it.
And it's nothing. It's not easy because you gotta. I don't think anybody sells one that sells blanks.
No.
I think at the worst part, if you used a standard blank and you had a correct launcher, if it's not strong enough, it's going to throw the grenade maybe 10, 15 feet. A proper
It's gonna
one's
be
going to throw it.
It's going to get what happened in that photo, where it doesn't go out all the way.
Oh,
If they bring that photo back up, it doesn't go out more than.
but that
6
looks
inches.
odd. Bring that
it.
back up.
Paul.
Yeah, it doesn't go more than 6 inches off the launcher because it's the friction. You got to get past that friction on that launcher.
But why does that?
Well, that's also a 3D printed rubber launcher.
That's what I
for
mean.
rifle grenade, so.
It didn't look
That
like
could be
a standard-
fun.
Oh no, I want a couple because if I eventually want to make my own loads, just to try. But we're not allowed to shoot rifle grenades at any of our events around here. But just to have them for display purposes, they're easier than spending the money on the real ones. But yeah, and I don't know. I'm not as far knowledge on this topic.
But
I
if
know
that
people that have done it.
is that grenade, that's not steel, is it?
The
No.
whole thing's rubber.
Well, that
The
would
whole
take
thing.
that would take less of a blank than an actual.
Yeah, so he's
grenade
really
charge.
going light. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to jump on that. and
Wait
read
a
that.
minute. If it is 308, he's using the green
Yeah,
German blanks. All they're really meant to go pop. They're not going
Pop.
to launch much of anything.
if he needs to try the black ones.
I
The
still
black
bet
ones
you.
are low.
I still bet you don't launch it very far. If it
Well,
goes
I would
over.
agree. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I run the green ones in my 308 Grand, and they're barely just enough to cycle the action.
Cycle the actions, all they do.
And every so often, I'll get one that short strokes the action. But
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. It needs to double check: is it 308 or odd 6?
Well, he's saying it's 308, and like I say, I don't know. I do know that the M14 had a 308 charge for the grenade launcher.
Yeah.
But the blanks were, they use them in M60s and everything else. They look like it wasn't a crimp like what we see on a 30-06. It was came out to almost like a bullet at the end, and it was crimped at that end. So that way it could run through machine guns, M60s and the like.
I've used them. I've used machine gun blanks. Paul's right. The part goes right up into where the bullet goes into the chamber.
Right.
And it's not crimped per se. It's rolled over with a heavy lacquer seal. The mouth of the machine gun round is rolled over like you would do a 357 44 Magnum, except it's rolled over so much that the hole inside is about 1/8 of an inch diameter, and they plugged out with some kind of high grade lacquer lye, I always thought.
Is the guy wanting information on where he can purchase blanks or reload blanks?
He wants to say how to load 308 blanks for using vintage M1 with grenade launcher and a rubber/aluminum dummy rifle grenade. Plus, he wants to know what powder to use. Well, there's really only one powder right now to know that most people are running to run when they make their own blanks.
Red dot.
Yep. And finding red dot is almost damn near impossible.
Now, if it was 30-06, World War II, I would bet it's 48.95, and they'd put a full case of it up in there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, it would have been about a full case, because if anybody ever if you want to know how it works, best scene I've ever seen of seeing how they launch it off a Garand is if you watch Band of Brothers, Sergeant Martin, I think it's episode 8 or 9, when they go on that night patrol, he leans back, opens the action, puts a blank round in the chamber, and then turns around, backs off, and fires the rifle grenade into the building. That's one of the best scenes you can watch him launch a rifle grenade.
If
the action of it.
If the guy that has that does his own reloading and he's got the star crimp to make blanks, I would just start at a half charge and work your way up to be safe. You don't want to go max to start with and blow a gun up or hurt somebody. Or
you
just work your way up.
Okay, I thought it was an interesting question, and
it is absolutely it's different. You don't see that every day, and I would, but most of my events I can't use rifle grenades. So,
okay,
yeah, most people just throw a smoke bomb and leave it at that.
Yeah, well, most of our fields we do events on are just so small. The rifle grenade's going to fire from one side all the way to the other. It's like, I need to take that pillbox out. Shoot, I overshot it about 30 yards.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, it was just something caught my eye, seeing a rifle grenade on a M1 Grand, and okay. And it happened just on the day that we needed it.
So I'm reading through the comments. It is not one of the naval Grands that has the insert, which is good.
Did you see the private chat?
Anything else?
Okay. So he said it's not a naval Grand.
Yeah.
So my guess is post-World War II conversion.
Either post-World War II conversion or it's a brand new Criterion barrel from the CMP.
Could be
308.
That would be the other option. So, somebody mentions that it's
I would love to buy this box
grenade cartridge. It's got the original specs.
I'm looking at it right now. I would love to buy this box of ammo, but I'm not spending for 20 cart count of cases $85. So that's about $4 a piece.
No thanks.
No, I'm not. I'll pass.
But it does say that later spec is 45 grains of IMR 48.95.
Jeez.
Make your own.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
that's
Mike. I've got a question for you. Which group are you talking about? RLP or TRR?
TRR. So
The 45 grains is about right for a 150 grain
Yeah.
through 8 round. I mean,
right.
yeah.
Did you say 45 and a half? 40?
Yeah, he said
So
45.
yeah, the
and a half.
last
Yeah.
here's out of the actual TM book, military book, 45 grains, IMR 4895. Yeah,
But that's the fire
the rifle grenade for the M3 cartridge. Yeah,
Right.
which would
But
be
I'll-
for the Grand.
but for a metal grenade, for a plastic or
True.
rubber,
Yeah,
he's not
rubber,
going to
you're
need
gonna
that
be-
much
You'll push that thing about double the distance you want to go.
if you don't explode it on the end of the rifle.
True.
Because you got that much mass you got to throw. Less mass, you don't need the biggest charge.
If it were me, if a metal one was 45 grains, I would probably start at about 20 to 25.
Yeah.
And start from there and work my way up. Because like I said, half charge is that's about half. Start that and go. If it doesn't launch off, go up 3 or 4 grains, try it again, and just slowly work it up until you have a good consistent launch off. And if you can get 35, 40, 50 yards, maybe up that to 100, I'd leave it at that. That's what I would do.
I think it's going to be hard to get to 100 with the plastic
I
rubber.
agree.
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. Everybody I know that's launched them have been launching the actual aluminum ones. I don't know anybody that launched the rubber ones.
Right. Yeah, the guy at our gun club that did, he had an actual, well, he didn't use an actual grenade. He took like a
Tennis
juice can. No, it was a juice can.
Oh,
He made his own launcher that fit on there. Took one, filled it with enough weight to match the weight, and shot that. And he launched it about 150 yards.
And we know that 4895 IMR is a good good powder for reduced loads.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we can fall back onto that. And I wouldn't go much past lower than 20 grains. So to keep enough powder in the back end of the case to get a good burn.
I bet you somebody that's good with math, if you could figure out the original weight of the grenade and the launcher and what the powder charge was, you could back calculate and get a close load with that rubber grenade.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we could use Gordon's reloading tool, or
Probably could. Now you think about that. If we know the pressure, we probably could.
or yeah. So
Yeah.
there's
Thanks,
one.
Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
On to the main part of the show then, right?
Knicks and other potential worthless things.
Yep.
Knicks in the reloading room, guys. Worthless things.
I don't know.
So a couple of Sharenda's suggestions, even though she doesn't know how to drive home in enough time to be able to make it anymore. Says some bull crap about her new job's a different, a different way, and
Yeah.
It's probably, for her house to my house, it's probably a good 40, 45 minutes. And then Leavenworth is another probably 25 to 30 minutes from my house.
So what she should do is she should just drive over to your house, do the podcast there, and then she can drive home after.
Yeah.
Nick's like, thanks for volunteering me.
Yeah.
She'll never leave.
I know it. I bet you I got some worthless things. I'm just trying to think what they are.
Well, it's things that aren't worthless. It's things that some people think are worthless, but you've used and think they aren't.
I
So what
probably
she
have
put
one.
is the little 3D printed locator pin tabs for the Dillons for like the
Yes.
550s and the 650s. So they're a little blue
They're
piece.
nice. They're nice. I like them. I got big fingers. Don't reaching in to grab the pins. When you grab that blue thing, just lift it up, pull the case out, put the pin back in. You go. Not a problem.
These
Yes.
little blue things, you can buy them off the website, or if you got a 3D printer, there's a STL that you can download to print. And so basically what you do is you take your little brass, put it in there, and then instead of trying to take your thumbnail and pry that out, you just grab the tab and lift the whole thing out.
Yep.
And the other thing was, that's not it. Wrong thing. The powder measure knob. So this is one of the ones that they sell on Amazon, but you can 3D print these. Titan Reloading actually has a nice one. He 3D prints and it offers on the website. There's a whole bunch of other ones out there. But what this does is this goes on that nut that you normally would turn.
Oh, okay.
On your powder thrower, and then you can manually adjust it. See?
Yep.
Just
Don't need
just
Yeah.
a bigger thumb screw.
Yeah, instead of the actual nut, now you've got that, so you've got a thumb screw.
Yeah.
Other than that, you need a 7/16 wrench to adjust it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
and there's the Armanoff one from
Yep.
Chris.
Hold
Chris
on.
has got the real nice Armanoff one.
Yep.
And I also picked that up for
Okay.
them as well. The quick disconnect.
The quick disconnect. Yeah.
Yep.
Entirely Crimson makes one of those too. The quick disconnect.
Yep.
So Entirely Crimson makes a bunch of different little knickknacks and stuff too. So
And people always gave Lee shit for making plastic parts. Now that seems like the way to go.
Yeah, a lot of things are being made out of plastic now.
Yeah.
3D printing has really revolutionized quite a few things.
Sure.
Oh, they're doing 3D printed stuff in the military. Some high end stuff too.
yeah, but their 3D printers are a lot more expensive than an Ender 3.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
You can carbon fiber 3D print too. So it's,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when all my case conversion, my little gauges that I cut the original case out, they're all 3D printed. Works
There
wonderful.
you go. Those are worthless.
Mike, you mean Huxworks isn't printing their suppressors off at Endor?
No, that doesn't print metal. So I did try to get them to loan me one of their printers and the material, and I said then I wouldn't need a tax stamp. Then I'm printing it myself, and I wouldn't need to do all the extra hoops. I could just And they said you're still going to need a tax stamp, and no, we're not going to loan it to you. So.
Those little printed cups you can get for your powder throwers, guys. Okay. Otherwise, you're using a pan to run your Franklin Armory, your RCBS, and your Hornady and Lyman powder dispensers. You got a pan you're putting in, but you can 3D print and buy those cups that the powder doesn't bounce out of. Places like Area 419, they sell.
Speaking of, go ahead. Finish your thing. So.
I said 419 sells powder cups and everything else. So, they're handy to have, and so you're not dribbling, getting powder bouncing out of your pan.
Mm-hmm. Did anybody see, speaking of Area 419, did anybody see their Gen 2 press?
Yep.
Not yet. No.
It's interesting.
Is it a turret?
No.
Oh, they got away from a turret now. Okay.
It's just like their first one, but a little better. I'll bring up a... I guess it is a turret. I guess they are turrets. I didn't realize. I've never really looked at their press. No, I don't want that. Stop it, you stupid crap. Wow, that's kind of weird when I'm quiet because nobody else talks.
Yeah.
And all you hear is people's mice clicking. Like Nick's, because he doesn't know how to have a quiet mouse.
I'm sorry.
Somebody should find a quiet mouse and give it to Nick. Because, oh my God, Nick, what is that, from like the frickin' 1950s?
Well, partially because my mouse was like 3 inches from my microphone, so I moved my microphone.
Got a little quieter.
Use a mouse pad too, then it won't be so noisy.
I'm on a mouse pad.
Okay.
I'm on an old company that doesn't even exist, Metro Arms mouse pad.
I have a Hockey Town mouse pad. You want to see it? You want to see it, Nick?
Oh no, I know exactly which Hockey Town. When they were in Janesville. Oh, that Hockey Town.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Hockey Town, USA, or when they do the they used to do the renovations to the rinks.
Mm-mm. So here is the Zero Gen 2 reloading press.
Yeah. Why does it look a lot like the Gen 1?
Because they just tweaked it.
Oh. So they got another 125 to go to the Gen 2, huh?
So this is a generational update, taking all the things we've learned about how consumers are using the press, how we make them, and what is possible for a reloading press. Go back, you piece of... While keeping as many compatibility features with the Gen 1 as possible. So they strengthen the linkage, and it's got a smoother stroke now. So somehow. And then they added a detent to the primer tray and a torque tool slot for the torque tool.
So you can
And
tighten
then,
the press head down. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can still use all of your Gen 1 accessories and stuff on the Gen 2, which was actually decent of them because, somebody like that, a lot of times when they come up with something like that, they tend to not think of that. So.
Wow.
How many station is that press?
9.
9.
So basically the biggest thing they did is they asked for a firmer bottom of the stroke so people can cam over and then float the shell holder below a die. So, because on this, wait a minute, why would they say bottom of the stroke?
Because bottom of the stroke is where the cam's over.
Yeah. Yeah, because you push it down on the lever.
Right.
Oh, so they're talking in reference to the lever, not reference to where the ram is.
Right.
Right.
Okay. See, I would not think that way. I would think
Yeah.
in reference to the ram, not the lever.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess I'm backwards, so whatever. Anyway, so that's that.
Personally, for the money, give me the new Frankfurt Arsenal one. I don't look super fancy precision, so I don't really see the need of it. But I've always wanted a turret press.
Yeah,
a true turret.
Well, I mean, I like the design and its cool factor and everything else, but I'm sorry when someone says $1,400 and I can go to Creedmoor Sports and I can buy a Reading turret press and then buy their $300 tool head that they have that's perfectly machined to fit the press, and be able to buy multiple of them other than this what do you call it? I mean, it's pretty neat that what Creedmoor is doing with it. I'd buy a Reading before this.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other neat little things that you don't necessarily need, but are come in handy, or a little. Let's see here.
What are you looking at? Like, one I can think of is the chamfer deburring tool that you would use for plumbing, that I would need for doing my ultra large cases that I can't use a standard chamfer deburring tool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Something different.
Instead of buying the $100 and some one at C&H, yeah.
Yeah, I can go
Yeah.
not even $10 on Amazon, get the large just plumbing one.
Mm-hmm.
That does the job.
Some of the neat ones that I see, and everybody just about here uses priming tubes. I mean, to run, a 550 or 650 or whatever press, or on some of the priming tools. Ray has it on his RCBS.
Mm-hmm.
There's the little brackets that you can snap up and, hold your priming tool pieces in. I just wish someone would make an elastic band that would go around the little cotter pins that we pull out and lose all the time.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, this ties in perfectly with this. Entirely Crimson makes a bunch of stuff. At one point in time, we had a discount code. I don't think we do anymore. But this is a little billet aluminum stand for your priming tubes, for the Dillon and obviously the Hornady as well, because they're all the same size.
$30 is cheap.
Yeah, for the aluminum. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at that. I'm like, and you wouldn't want a wood one because the wood ones collect moisture. Plus they
swell
and shrink.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have a taller block. But this right here, yeah. Look at that.
For $30, that's not bad.
No, that's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people are going to see that and they're going to look and they go, what the heck do you need that for? Well, obviously, if you don't have a Dillon or a Hornady lock and load, and you don't have to have those primer tubes, you would think that's a stupid idea.
Well,
so
I mean, if you got an RCBS priming tool that you
right, you've got like the one you use or the one Ray's using.
And
this kind of gives you, this shows you what it looks like. I can't really zoom it in, but this is kind of what this is one of those things like what Paul was just talking about.
Yes.
They snap right in, kind of like a fishing poles in a fishing rack.
Yep.
So
Oh, okay.
here's another thing that people would think is stupid. Tool head caliber ID tags. So
Okay.
you can put them in the slot on your tool heads or on the flat spot on your tool heads, on your 550s and 650s, 750s.
You got me thinking, Paul, on that cotter pin for the primer tube.
Yeah.
Really, all you'd have to do is take some monofilament line, tie you a fishing knot on the one end of the cotter pin, then just run the other end up to your tube, leave you about 3 inches of gap, and run you a piece of Scotch tape or some kind of tape around it. And then you'd have a lanyard holding that cotter pin.
Because you're like me, you lose them, right?
You lose them.
You pull it and you set it aside, you
Yeah.
set it down, and by the time you're done with the priming all the cases and everything else, you've moved everything around a couple of times. And if you're like me and you're priming, 300 or 400 cases, well, geez, you're stuck. You're looking for the pins all the time.
Yep. Or why couldn't you just drill another hole through the tube at the top of the tube? Once you put it in there, pull the pin, you take that cotter pin and just push it through the hole at the top of the tube.
Well, where the pickup is the primer's got to get past that line that you put in.
Yeah. You'd have to maybe download your tube one or two, and
right. So.
Or they make the tube longer to leave you a gap.
I mean, some of us had taken the cotter pin and put it up on in the tube, and with the open end in there.
Yeah.
But I always, it never fails. I pull it out. I'll set it down before I do that and start going.
Yeah.
And something like that. The things that they've come up here. Spent primer shoot for RCBS Summit Press. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these right here, I just left this up here because this is quite a few things that are actually kind of useful. For your powder measures, an actual billet arm as opposed to the plastic ones that always break.
Yeah.
Over time. So, and entirely Crimson isn't the only company that has these. Here's another. Let me pull up another one here.
Ray, I like your idea of making lanyards. I've used monofilament for years.
Yeah.
It's just got to be, where you can see it. Monument, maybe that orange monofilament line or something like that, and tape it up and put it on like that. Yeah.
Dad, I got all that extra old yellow monofilament line there at the house. Give it a try.
Yeah.
Only thing with making knots and monofilament, you better have agile fingers.
They make tires now.
Yeah, really.
So
anyway, I don't have much to contribute tonight. So, gentlemen, I'm going to tell you good night.
You don't have any little knickknacks or anything that you think are important that other people are stupid?
Say again, Mike?
Said you don't have anything little knickknacks or anything that you think are important that other people think are stupid?
I like the locating pin tabs.
There you go.
And I already bought 2 or 3 powder measure knobs for my Dillon powder measure. I bought them back years ago on castbullets.com.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jim, you take that lovely wife of yours out for dinner tomorrow night and have a good birthday.
Yep.
Happy birthday,
She's already
Jim.
made reservations. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, good night,
Happy
everybody.
birthday, Jim.
Good night.
Happy birthday,
Hi,
Jim.
Jim. Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Now
Here's another.
Yeah, they're and anything they own, they make, buy it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm gonna be up.
Inline fabrication. Yes.
Yep.
I'm debating on doing my whole back wall, my bench with their back wall panel, just to get stuff off the bench.
Hmm.
So they've got like this here, all that different stuff that's in there. He's got
Device. Yeah.
oh crikey, who's that company?
Real Avid.
Yeah. And then this is the
Henderson one,
the
yeah.
Henderson trimmer that Lyman copied.
Well, Hornady
Or
copied.
Hornet copied. Sorry,
Uh,
Lyman.
well, I talked to him before. He can make about anything you want. If you
Yeah.
know where your
Yeah.
thread, your screw dimensions are, he's got a little template like he'll email to you, and you put
Mhm.
that down and kind of mark it out, send it back to him. He'll make you whatever you want, really.
What that blank plate he sells?
Yeah,
I mean, you could drill your holes and mount anything you'd ever imagine.
yeah, and that's
Now,
nice. He did sell the blank
You
plate.
got that rail plate that they're offering now, which is that one there.
Yeah, I
That
saw
one
that.
is really nice.
So like
Yeah.
for Paul's bench where he's got the T rails in.
Ah,
That's something, Dad, you might want to look at doing on your new bench is the T rails potentially.
yeah.
I don't know if you really thought
Because
about
you
your new
can-
one yet.
You can do all that and slide it around and move it back and forth. And I already have on my list to buy a couple of those. So
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with you, Paul. Anything he has his name on is high quality.
yeah,
I tell anybody if you're building a bench, go with the inline, especially if you plan on getting multiple presses. Or even I tell people that have a small area of bench, go with the inline stuff because the nice thing about it, you can change it out. You can have your case trimmer set up on a thing, your press set up on, and you can have just that little area.
So so I have talked about the Lee in the past, which I've actually got the Lee bench plate here. Because I've also got the Lee stand and I've got a few Lee presses. But the Lee problems are it's very limited on what you can actually put on it.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, Jim tried to manufacture a plate adapter so I could put the Hornady lock and load on it, and it didn't work. And we tried to put my 550 on it, and that one didn't work out well either. So, but like here, I mean, you're talking, you either have the strong mount style up here where it's just a permanent mount. Otherwise, he's got the 3 different heights. And then what this is, actually, he's got 4 because he doesn't
4.
have the flat one that you have to router into the deck. But what it is literally, there it is. There's the flat one here on the bottom. But literally, you have plates that your press is mounted to. You just come and the tab goes into that open spot and you slap it down, you bolt it down, and away you go.
Mm-hmm.
So you can literally change a press out, not quite as fast as a NASCAR team doing a pit stop, but you're pretty good.
and you can get hangers that you can take and snap that press right into without bolting it down. It'll just go up, reach up, and lock in. And when you need to use a press or a tool or something like that, priming tool, something, I mean, you can reach up, bring it down, and 2 bolts, and you're locked in.
Yeah.
So like
I picked
here,
up one of those as well because I picked up cheap, like $15 at a shop or something at one time, and eventually I'm gonna get enough presses where I'm gonna need that tool. So yeah, it's incredible the stuff he's come up with.
So like here, somebody built a stand and then they've got the storage plates. So you literally just slap whatever into the storage plates. And when you're done, you lift it out. And here's what it looks like with all your presses and everything on it. He's got a vise on there.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
have a
so
little
look at
Tony.
how solid those things are.
Yeah.
He can make them like I'm working with him on one for a eventually when I get the heater pad for my RCBS Lumatic machine, he'll make it specific one for the heater plate to go on it that'll also have the Lumatic attached to it. So he does some incredible stuff.
Yeah.
So Michael Dunn said that Dan made him a custom plate for the Lee bench brackets that I can still use my Lee plates. So what I've got on the bench, I'll have to talk to him about that.
And the other thing is all the little knickknacks that he sells,
Mhm.
you know, die holders, you know, trays, all the things that you need around the press, he sells. I mean,
Makes
they're
the
there.
tool holders for like the Dillons
Yeah.
that
I
mount
ca-
right to the back of the mounts.
Yep.
hmm
My dad and I kind of saw his and kind of made our own version of the swing out container holders, but yeah.
No, but for the way he thought these things out, very ingenious what he does. I mean, it's crazy.
I can see him being an engineer for sure. This
Yeah.
guy.
I mean, he makes the roller grip handles. He's got side bin systems to go onto your brackets.
Yep.
How many guys use the roller, the ergonomic roller handles?
I mean,
on
there's
their
your
Dillons?
your newer presses.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mike, scroll up a page. One more. Oh, that's right there. Look at that, Nick. Is the last one in that column.
Yep. It's exactly.
Exactly this. We've got something very similar to that we use because you can swing, especially on a turret press, you can swing your powder dispenser over a funnel that you keep in your die on the turret press.
Right.
Drop your load and just keep on going. I mean, it's very ingenious.
His new back wall panels is really what's getting me intrigued right now.
Yeah. See, I'm looking at this because this is all specific.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got the bin barriers, the little plates that go on the front of the acro bins,
Oh yeah.
hmm
That's
the
probably what
bin
I'll do.
rails.
I gotta get a couple of his tool head for the Lee 4-hole turrets right there. Yep. A 3-rack.
So
I mean, I have one of the ergonomic handles on my 550. I mean, it's nice. You know, it's not where I have to reach too far down, and I don't have to. It's easier to push up in that with that roller handle.
like here's one of his panels. You can kind of see what he's done there. You know, his displays. He's got horizontal. He's got he's got a Dillon powder scale on there. There it's mounted vertically. Somebody put LED lights behind it. There's that guy.
What type of system is he mounting with? Is it just? Is it a hole or is it a?
That.
I can't.
It's kind of almost like a key mod system, almost how he locks
Yeah.
stuff in there.
Oh, it is
There's
key
a little
mod.
better picture.
It's
Yeah.
it's a version of kind of key modish,
Key
not
mod.
true key mod.
Interesting.
But seeing that, I can go with the lockdown panels.
Yeah.
A lot cheaper.
Yep. I mean, yeah, you're going to be paying for the quality on this.
But the lockdown panels are just as sturdy and durable.
Right.
I'm thinking for if I did redo my like a what you would consider a bar back on above my reloading bench.
Yeah.
But you may not have all the accessories for different tools like he's got set up.
That's the thing is his is
I only need a
specifically-
couple shelves.
So, but you may be able to incorporate his adapters into.
I'm a ways from that. I'm just kind of getting some ideas.
Yeah.
But his stuff's incredible, no doubt about it.
Yeah, you pick anything out there, and you're in good shape, and it will make your reloading room a lot more efficient.
Absolutely.
And he's got LED lights for the presses. There's other people out there that have them too. But he's got that designed. I know his last. That's the thing. Some of them out there don't.
And they're heavy, powder coated. Yes.
So here's that LED kit that somebody had. So that's $30 to go behind the panels.
Okay.
So they got a little phone dock for the panels.
I
Place for
can
your
see.
iPad.
I can see that. I mean, if you got an AT4
Yeah,
and you're using your phone to
control it.
control it, yeah.
Well, even I've even thought about getting one of those a phone holder for either my phone or my tablet. Something if I need to do a quick research on a load, I don't have to walk away from my press. I can just pull up my load book on my little tablet right there at the bench and at the press. If it's right there,
Powder dock for lock and load stuff, or bench top for die holders. There's just, I mean, first off, you're going to spend a lot of money,
oh, absolutely.
but it's worth it. But plan on spending some time on here too.
Have we looked at having him on the show?
We have,
Okay, I didn't know if we've had him on or not.
but I think it's been a long while.
And every once in a while, he does have factory seconds on.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And he'll just have he has a tab specifically for those. Yeah,
It's just cosmetic stuff. There's nothing wrong. No, it's not warped, bent.
Like on that powder dispenser Chris showed us earlier, would have the quick disconnect. Would his stuff work with that? In other words, does he have a bracket that's got a male piece? You'd slip that powder dispenser over and hit the quick connect and hold it like a bayonet mount?
No.
That would be neat. That would be neat.
What he does is that he makes the slots for the tool heads, so the tool heads slide in, and then he makes you just buy an extra powder die and you just open it up and slip it on, and that's it. Okay. In one of the holes in the die in the dies in the die section there.
Okay.
So that's the easy way to do it. I mean, they're what now? What do they want? $30 for a powder through die,
something like that.
But yeah, Armanoff. There's another company that makes a lot of things that you want mostly for the Dillons and stuff, but they're getting into the Mark 7s and some of the other reloading items. So look at Armanoff. Who else?
Hey Ray, I'm gonna share my screen, but Paul, he does make a docking station with those little tabs.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
So your quick connect would work on that.
It should. Looking at it. Let's see. Get the right screen here.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. That would be quick, man.
Mm-hmm.
And now looking at, because I'm on his website on my other screen, I don't know if I really need the whole key mod style panel. You give me one of these bars that he's got, like these brackets attached to, is really all I would need.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at it, Ray, you can see those connectors right there.
Yeah.
The Armorov is just that part that slides out. So it would make sense for it to work.
And they're just as expensive. This is 2-place, so they're half the price of a Dillon powder die.
Yeah, his stuff. I'm sure your workbench is like mine. It don't take much to get them messy. And his products keep you so organized. It makes it easy to keep a clean bench.
It's one of those products you buy once, cry once.
Yep. Why? But it's
exactly
not
that.
that expensive.
No,
Not
no,
expensive.
absolutely not. But
Well,
there's every little thing
it-
you got to
it can
get. It
get
starts
there.
to add up. Absolutely.
It can get there. You know, I am looking like at that new plate that he has that'll hold either a press, you know, one of his risers, or hold hold it down level, and you're at $50. Okay, that just starts there. Then it's what is it, 28 or so, or $30 a
Yeah.
plate to put in. So okay, so 5 or 6 plates. Yeah, it gets a little expensive.
Well, also on his little dock for those tool heads, I just shared my screen again. You could actually mount bins below it.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with if I go with that, I'm not gonna go with the panel. I'll go with just the rail, and a 4-foot rail is $44.
There you go.
2 of those running along my wall, and it's a concrete wall. I drilled into the concrete wall. It ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
can
wouldn't
mount
drill
every-
it.
I would
I
probably,
would.
now that you think about that, I'd probably build a 2x4 frame to come up and over and drill to that.
Yeah.
Build you a panel that hooks to a 2x4 frame
Yeah,
and
that's probably what I'll do.
mount it to the side of your bench and have it stand above the back of your bench.
Yeah, because I can put another light up there. And Yep.
That's another thing, guys, is lighting.
Oh,
Right?
gosh.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I'm
know.
ordering new lighting this week for my vault room because the fluorescent light that Dad gave me that we thought was going to work great, it sucks. There's 2 giant dim spots at the corners of the room, and
It's amazing. You can never have too much light.
yeah,
I upgraded some of the lighting in mine. I went from what was it, 3,500 lumens to 44 or 4,500 lumens, and I still want more.
Yeah.
You know, something that puts light out where you want it. Anybody use those magnifying glasses with the light in it?
Love it.
it's my
Yeah.
old one from my old bedroom. I never used, so he's like, I have like absolutely.
Well, I've got the that little vise that you're all looking at, the Real Avid, and I actually got that accessory kit we all saw at SHOT there a few years ago.
I
And
gotta
it's got
order that.
It's actually got the magnifier. It's got a
Mhm.
phone holder and a actual separate LED light on top of it.
That's
That
dynamite. I mean, that's
Plugs right into the device. You can actually
know,
take it, put it on the other stuff they have too.
you sit down and you got a magnifying glass. How many have? I have a bunch of micrometers that are the old style. Okay, when I could read, where you have to look at them under a bright light in order to see if you're getting them right. Depth micrometers that are old school. To when I used to be able to turn a barrel. You had to measure where you were at with your after you drill it, and then you measure out where you're at on the back of the chamber, and go from there. Those are all by hand. I mean, those are all marked, and you had to put everything in by hand and read it all. And magnifying glasses come in handy, and bright lights. But who else makes things that are handy to have? Double Alpha Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of little items there that you can get. I'm not going to go through, open everything up. We sit down, we'll be here for
Right.
10 hours, but just going through and finding things that are going to help in your reloading and keep you more organized and
Well, I'll tell you one thing I did. Those little bitty, you see them in the fishing department. They're like a little clear plastic box that's got like 18 compartments in it.
Yeah,
I put on
the
my
poly boxes.
I put my RCBS and Lee shell holders in there, and I labeled the top of the box what shell number they are, and that way I don't have to go looking for them. I pull that out and pop it open, and inside the lid I take the actual chart so I can double check. You know,
I moved a toolbox into my reloading room.
there you go.
Okay. That's movable. You know, I can move it around from place to place and turn it around. It gives me two options. One, I can put things on top of it when I have to work. But the other thing is that my micrometers, my gauges, my cutting tools for turning necks and things like that now all go into a drawer, and I can pull out and get what I need and keep track of that kind of stuff.
I do pretty much like you do, Ray. I picked a bunch of these up from Home Depot.
There you go.
I mean, Harbor Freight's got them too. They hold all the little bits and pieces for dies, extra parts for the presses.
Yep.
You name it. And the nice thing is you stack them on top and they lock together.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, organization makes, especially reloading, things go a lot. I shouldn't say quicker.
Smoother.
Smoother. Because I don't know how you guys are. If I lose a piece and I can't find it, and I go to bed, I can't sleep at night wondering what this little bitty piece was. I'll ruin a night's sleep looking like those cotter pins you were saying. Where'd I do with that? Did I lose it?
Oh, you know what drives me nuts is sitting there going through my Sinclair bump gauges, okay? Because each one is a different, it's a 20, 23, 30, and you're sitting there going down and you're looking at them and you change things out and keep them in order. Like, it's like you could use the ones that keep your shell holders. I have a little peg and I can set my my bump gauges so I know which one is for which cartridge.
Yep.
Because it gets expensive at they're about $11 a piece, and you can buy a Hornady set, but they're not as good. They just but yeah, I mean, I must have 10 or 15 different shoulder angles.
Yeah. Like I got little drawers. I'll keep a case, like my 30-06 case gauge will be in a drawer. My 308 one will be in a little drawer. I got a little drawer I keep all my snap caps in. So if I'm working on a gun and I want to check, see if it cycles, no problem. I can do that.
So now you're moving to a new house now. You going to move the whole bench down there?
I'm going to build a new one. I'm going to probably leave the one I got because it's small. Where I work now, my bench right now is probably only 5.5 feet long.
Yeah.
It's not very long at all. That's why I have to keep it organized because it's so small. My new bench will probably,
10 feet
actually,
long.
my bench, all my ammo, and all my guns will all be in a vault. That's how big my thing's going to be.
Okay.
I thought my vault was big. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know I have 8 and 20 and 26 of standard bench height bench for reloading only. Okay. And then a couple of areas, and you're right, if you don't keep everything organized, it gets all spread all over the place. And
Well, another cheap thing, if we're talking organization, pick yourself up a label maker. They're not
Yes.
expensive. And
Mhm.
start labeling stuff. That way you can just go quick look. Oh, that's the parts I need for my Dillon 550 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Those you guys use those boxes, and anybody remember those little ones you hang from the wall that got the little plastic slide out drawers?
Oh yeah,
I use those.
they work.
Yeah, and a habit I have from
I've got one of those just over here.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot of things out. Like right now, when I wash my brass, because I bring it home from the range, it's dirty. I give it a quick wash with detergent just to get the dirt and stuff that's from the range off of it. Then I wet tumble it. Well, I've been doing a lot of that in the house, and I want to get away from that. So now in my garage, I will have a utility sink out there. My tumbler, my wet tumbler will stay out there, and my dehydrator will stay out there. So now that brass won't come in the house till it's perfectly clean.
Okay.
So it's been trying to think out a lot of these little things out.
No, I don't wet tumble. I use a large ultrasonic.
Okay.
But I still keep a tumbler around for for HBN 2 bullets and another one to polish my brass. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't got rid of my tumbler. I mean, my vibrating.
Right.
That's like I picked up a RCBS vibratory tumbler at a gun show probably this last fall for cheap, and it's like basically brand new. That's going to be turning into my whenever I do media tumble. That'll be my new media tumbler, and I'm going to take my old. I don't even remember who made it. Tumbler I've had, and that's going to become a powder coating tumbler. So if I wanted my coat bullets, I can just dump my whatever powder coat I want in there, dump the bullets in there, and vibratory those. So get a little bit more coverage, even though the whole cooler container does its job well. But when you got the extra tumbler laying around, doesn't hurt to use it.
Have you guys? I know we've talked about this in the past. Bench height, but have you found, depending what process you're doing, whether it be brass prep or reloading, the different heights of a bench would be more beneficial?
I like to sit when I'm using a single stage, but I stand when I'm using a progressive.
Yeah.
So my progressive height is 39 inches, and then I have a medium height inline fabrication, and then my press is there. That way my hand comes straight out and I can come down and back.
Yeah.
And if I want, I can sit in a stool, an adjustable height stool, and there, but not really. It's much more comfortable to stand and pull the handle than it is to now you go to your regular benches, and then you're at 29 inches. So you got good 10 inches difference in there.
Yeah.
And then if you want, you can go to Home Depot, and Husky makes a 2-drawer bench that is you can get it 48, 54, 60 inches. That's got a crank that's adjustable from about 29 to 40 inches tall.
Oh wow.
And it's on. You can either get it on. You can put it on wheels, or you can put it on on casters, or you can put it on, on pegs and adjustable pegs.
Isn't that sturdy enough to operate a press on?
Well, let's see. Yeah, it's sturdy enough.
Oh, there you go. I'll be darned.
So, yeah.
Yeah, whenever we get ready to build yours, Dad, you'll come over. We'll kind of use mine as an example, even though mine's probably a little taller for what you're going to want. Because, of course, I'm taller, so. But
see, when I'm reloading, I tend to want to stand. I don't know why.
Well, the room you were in, you could never really have a chair in there.
True.
So now your new room's going to be bigger. You could have a chair in there, a stool.
Yeah.
And have it where it just sits in the corner out of the way if you need to walk around in there.
Yeah.
So that's all. You're going to have a whole new process of learning things.
But I may do a two level. One when I'm doing reloading, and like say if I'm doing something, if I'm looking at the computer, I may have a regular, I call it desk height in there.
And I was thinking about that for you as well. I've been kind of brainstorming things as well for you.
Yeah, so I'm in no rush. Gotta build a new workbench out in the garage too.
Yeah.
Well, those are kind of some nice ones there.
Yeah. You say Home Depot Husky's the brand?
Yeah.
You're going to love it. You're going to have Home Depot 10 minutes from your new house, Dad. There it is.
Yeah.
He's got it up there. Actually, that would work perfect for you for a, if they made that super narrow for a, I might look at one of those potentially for a computer bench for down by mine. If they have it, like, say, because that's 52 inches wide, if they made it in a 36 wide, just enough for a couple monitors and everything, that gives me some ideas for just a computer.
Here, you should just go with this one.
That's actually
there's your pegboard for the back. But I think you lose your height adjustability.
Yeah.
Well, I got this 46 one right now, and I have two 27-inch monitors on it, and a computer, a lamp, two cameras, and a keyboard. So there's plenty of room.
That gives me some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, there's a few different Husky ones that are adjustable height. So
yeah, there's a crank to do it. You go on Amazon, you can look at what they have on Amazon. Some of them are electric. Okay, they got a little motor in there.
That's what my work desk is. It's electric and it can go up and down. If I need to sit and talk to some guys at work, I'll just put the monitor up. We'll stand up, look at the monitors, and so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, because you could even put toolboxes under those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have to think about that.
Yeah, getting into building benches and that kind of stuff, I wanted something that is mobile, that I can move around, and something that has storage in it. And so this is going to be part of the new room that I'll be making at my daughter's house. But then again, I'm going to put one of these at at my main reloading room and rework the toolbox, the rolling toolbox that I have, to accomplish more. That Kasdan foam, have anybody ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
Kasdan foam.
Mm-mm.
It's a layered foam where you got black on top and then you got a color in between, red or whatever, and it comes in layers you can cut and peel back.
No. Can't say
Oh,
that I have.
is that like something you put in a gun case? And
Yep.
okay.
Put a link in the private chat for the Kaz foam off of Amazon.
Yeah. You got it? Okay. But
So
Interesting.
Jump back over to Inline. I'm kind of looking at I have their website up on my phone or my computer here. Seeing that lighting kind of gives me some ideas for behind the paneling. I put my paneling up for my modern stuff in that room.
yeah.
so there's a Kaz foam. You can see how it's got a black top and it's red, and there's
Yeah.
layers. There's layers in between that you can cut and reduce, and
Okay.
so
I just dropped one of the bigger companies in there too,
yeah.
because they make a whole bunch of other different colors in there. And for that private chat, it's basically kazansource.com.
Mm-hmm.
How do you cut that? Utility knife, or do you have to have a hot knife? Or
A hot knife is nice,
Mhm.
but you can, a good sharp utility knife is fine. And if you ever get around to having a hard case, you can buy this stuff for a hard case and cut it out and layer it in there, so you're not plucking foam, and that you can come in and really do a nice job as far as cutting it to fit and to fit your rifles or whatever, or shotguns.
If you look on that second link I put in the chat, Ray, it actually will. You scroll down a little bit. It's like Paul saying they actually sell the kits for different types of cases,
okay.
from like Pelican to Milwaukee to Makita, where you can actually do those layers and stuff that Paul was talking about.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it also comes in different thicknesses: 7/8, 1 1/8, and 2 1/4. So
Okay.
depending on what your case is at.
Nice.
All right. So hopefully we gave you all some ideas on some stuff, and maybe some stuff that you're like, I don't need that. So then you've found some stuff that you didn't like. So if you've got ideas that we didn't mention that you think are just absolutely a necessary item, send us an email, reloadingpodcast@gmail.com, and let us know. One of the things I think you automatically need to have is some Camerado. You need to go to camerado.com and use coupon code reload on when you check out and get yourself some Camerado, because it's some good stuff, good quality, lots of cool patterns. So
yeah, the Hawaiian pattern is really nice.
So also patch of the month. Jim had it on his hat. I've got it right here. So this is April, of course. It's gonna be a bunny. Let's see.
He's fully equipped.
Yes. Yes. Easter Bunny ain't messing around. So, patch of the month club member, you get a actual Velcro back patch, a sticker, and Ryan Cross's original rough sketch. So, which comes on a card, and then on the back it usually has a few of the previous months. So, theoretically, it's the last 12 months of patches, but it's not always. So, but yeah, so swing over to firearmsradio.net. That's not what I wanted. firearmsradio.net/categories/reloading-2. That's our homepage. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me expand that out and let me redo that. firearmsradio.net/categories/podcast/reloading-2. I should put that on a banner. That's what I should do. I should put that on a ticker. There we go. Just leave that scrolling. So firearmsradio.net/category/podcast/reloading-2. That's our website. From our website, you can click on the lovely green buy our merch button. It will take you over to Southern Gals Crafts, where you can get cool things like the Reloading Podcast shirts you see the host sometimes wearing, and also you can get cool things like this tumbler. There's 3 different styles of this. I've got the extruded powder, there is a brass one, and then there's a American flag one. You can also get t-shirts and sweatshirts and all sorts of sweet stuff there. And if you want to become one of the Patch of the Month Club members, the aforementioned Patch of the Month Clubs, you can click on Support This Show. Click on that. That'll take you over to Patreon. You can sign up there for that. Or if you just want to send us $1 or whatever, you can do that too. If you don't want to use Patreon, send me an email, reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. We'll figure out a different way if you want to support the show. So we greatly appreciate it. We are on social media, Facebook, Instagram, kind of on Twitter/X. It's Reloading Pod. We're on MeWe, obviously YouTube, Rumble. And working on getting caught back up. Chris, even though he's got everything going on, did some behemoth work over the weekend and got a bunch of episodes edited for me. It's more of a quick and dirty. So,
thank you, Chris.
I got to get those posted. What I would honestly love to do is I would love to be able to pay an editor, but unfortunately, right now, the podcast basically covers expenses to do StreamYard, so, and the other basics. So that incur on putting a podcast on the air. So otherwise, if there's somebody out there that would like to volunteer for editing, that would be a cool thing too. So anyway, anybody got any shout outs?
No.
All right. Thanks for everybody who tunes in live every week and joins us in the chat for that. Thanks to everybody that tunes in after the fact. Make sure that you're getting those GunCon tickets, and make sure you're booking your trips to GunCon and goals. So, and on that note, keep your brass shiny.
Jump on the Millsap short bus.
Teach them to shoot and reload when they're young.
Shoot smarter, not harder.
Grandpa told me, don't listen to my mama. He goes, violence does solve problems.
Especially when you use high explosives.
Yeah.
Serious putty is great.
Yes, it is. I was just going to mention that. So if we have silly putty, what's serious putty? Oh, it's C4. And most importantly, well, not most importantly, but very importantly, support the Second Amendment. Support organizations that support the Second Amendment. Make sure you're paying attention to where your money is going and what it's being used for. If you are a NRA Life member, it is your job to make sure you're holding leadership accountable to get it fixed. I cannot, in good conscience, ask anybody to give any money to that organization until it's fixed. I cannot say to join up. I cannot say to up your membership or up your life membership or anything like that until it's fixed. Do not give them another dime is my personal opinion, and I'm not. So when they're fixed and they're running the way they're supposed to be doing and they're doing the things they're supposed to be doing and they're actually fighting for our rights, then we'll talk. In the meantime, there are plenty of other organizations that are kicking ass. So make sure you're supporting those. But most importantly, if we defeat them at the ballot box, we don't have to worry about them passing stupid ass laws that we have to take them into court for. Remember that. If you can defeat them at the ballot box, they don't get a chance to pass the stupid ass laws that then we have to spend 10 years fighting in court and spending millions and millions and millions of dollars.
And it's always your dollars that they're using to defeat us.
We're paying twice.
Yeah.
We're paying for our side to fight and we're paying for their side to fight. So, it's, and as we found out through Doge, there's a few times we've been paying 3 times. Good grief. We stopped holding the government accountable. And we need to. And that includes the guy that's at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue right now. Need to hold him accountable. Okay? Yes, he and Musk are doing a lot of good things, but they're doing a lot of things that kind of make you wonder at the same time. There's some stuff they're doing that they're just doing it the way they want to do it instead of the way it needs to be done. So then we're getting court cases out of that because they didn't follow procedures and stuff like that. So people are bringing them to court, and then they got to go through the court costs, and then they got to go through the procedures. And if they'd have just taken a couple of seconds and done the procedures in the first place, it'd save some time. So we need to let them know that even if you appreciate what they're doing, they need to do it the right way. All right. So it's our job to hold our government accountable.
Feet to the fire, guys.
Yeah. Regardless of what the letter is next to their name. So,
yep.
Okis said, and they're not doing a lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot of things that they're supposed to be doing, they're not doing. All right. One of the things that is a pipe dream is term limits for Congress. But if we keep bringing it up and keep bringing it up and keep bringing it up and keep bringing it up, there's a chance maybe someday. So don't think just because there's no chance not to bring it up. All right. You get enough newly elected Congress critters, they might get it passed. Okay. So right now, frankly, we're kind of with everything. I've been a one issue voter since 92 when I was able to start voting in elections. 94 really hammered that home with how important it was. So the second guarantees everything else, kids. If we do not have the second, they can do what they want. And then you get stupid shit like England, where you can get thrown in jail for making nasty comments on social media.
And don't think the left doesn't want to do that to you.
Oh, hell, they do. Absolutely, they do. You hurt my feelings. Absolutely, they do. Or you think or practice a certain thing that they don't agree with, yeah, they want to figure out a way to lock you up. Absolutely.
You know, you believe in owning a gun, so you're a white supremacist.
Even if you're black. I have yet to figure out how they explain that one away, but somehow they have on a few. I've seen it. They think. So they can think however they want, but we're not allowed to. But that's why they put the second in there. So you don't get one maniacal group of people that try and take over the government and run roughshod. The second protects everything else. Remember that. And we need to fight like heck to make sure it's protected. And just like what happened in Minnesota this week, where the Supreme Court said no, the court below us ruled correctly. We're not taking this case. 18 to 20-year-olds can now carry in Minnesota. Concealed carry. It's now legal. So, most importantly, if you're struggling, there's help out there. Fight the good fight. If you made it through today, we know you can make it through tomorrow. You might just need a little more help, but you can call 988 or 1-800-273-8255 and kind of get on track to get that help. So reach out. We want you here. We need you here. We definitely need your help in fighting the good fight. So if you see behavior from friends and family that isn't quite the same, ask them if they're okay. So, and don't be judgy when they answer, and don't think that they're all going to sudden just, don't freak out and think all of a sudden, oh my God, they're going to kill themselves or kill other people. So, keep an eye on them because, some people may get that bad, but we need to make sure we're helping them fight for themselves. So, all right, gang. Everybody have a good night.
Good night, all.
Night.
Thanks all.
Night, y'all.
Good night.